Hello everyone, I'm going to be showing you my June reading BUJO. You may have seen that earlier on my channel just a few days ago. I posted a video for my June calendar. So I use that planner mostly for just kind of my normal life stuff, plans and things like that. And then this journal will be my primary reading journal to keep track of both bookstagram, booktube, and my general reading. So for June, I decided that I would pick something super summery, and to me, nothing says summer more than pineapples. I love virgin pina coladas, and pineapples are super cute. So for my theme, I chose green and yellow and pineapples. So here I'm kind of drawing just my first page to kind of give a nice pretty intro page to the rest of my BUJO here. The pens that I'm using are the hard-tipped Fudenosuke brush tip pens. They're really good for calligraphy and also stand out a bit better than my highlighters do. So I like to use them more for coloring. And then up top here, I'm going to make a small little calendar just of the days so that I can kind of see how the weeks are set up. And then all around I'm drawing more little pineapples to kind of fill some of the empty space. And for the outlines here, I'm using a Sharpie pen, but then going back in with my Fudenosuke brush pens to color in. And then I'm filling in some more of the empty space with my little starburst shapes and also some little stars and things like that to keep the page kind of nice and busy and so nothing feels too empty. So then moving on after that, I'm writing my June TBR. So I'm going to start with All the Stars and Teeth, which I'm doing as a buddy read this month at the beginning of the month. And then over on the right you see I'm assigning each title a little code that'll come in handy later. I'm then hoping to finish Orwell by Nicolene Evans, as well as finishing Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. Several of the books I'm supposed to read this month are books that I've started but have not finished, and Orwell and Scavenge the Stars are two such books. Then Ink in the Blood, which I got from the library and will need to be turned in eventually, as well as Stalking Jack the Ripper, which I'm reading with my mother and father in like a tiny little book club. And then I also have some bonus books. These are additional books in case I finish a book before scheduled or if I just have extra time, and those are In the Shadow of the Sun and The Sound of Stars. And then I'm filling in this page as well. Then on the other side of this spread, I'm going to write my June schedule. So I'm trying something new this month. I usually don't plan out my reads super extremely, but I'm trying something called Angie's Way, which you can see up at the top as hashtag angiesway, just because this was kind of made popular by a bookstagrammer named Angie. If you'd like below. But the general idea is that you take each of the books that you would like to read and you split up the number of pages, depending on how many pages you feel comfortable reading each day. For me, it was 40 to 50. So I then kind of put in the books depending on when I needed to read them for buddy reads and things like that, and then also splitting them up by the 40 or 50 pages that I felt comfortable reading each day, and so then I can kind of plan them out for each day. And then if I finish my reading for that day, I can put a little check mark in the little dot on the left-hand side of the book. And I actually have a free day at the end of the month. I kind of only had one leftover day, so it wasn't enough to put in another book. So it'll be a catch-up day or maybe an additional day to start one of the bonus books. And so with Stalking Jack the Ripper, since it's part of kind of like a book club, I'm supposed to be reading 4 chapters a week, so that's why it's on the right-hand side here, just to kind of keep track of when I should be reading for the book club there, so I'm not reading ahead, I'm not behind, anything like that. And then I'm just kind of going back over my calligraphy. I didn't quite look like how it looked to have the June schedule be written just in yellow. I didn't feel like it stood out enough, so I kind of went back over it. And then on the next page, I'm going to be kind of writing my bookstagram tracker to ensure that there's my head, but to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for my bookstagram, just to keep track of all my rep duties and my booktube videos, my IGTV videos, my bookstagram photos, and all the things like that. So eventually, at the end of the month, when I look back at this tracker, there should be a bunch of little green and yellow squares filled in the middle of these rows. And it'll be a nice kind of aesthetic way of keeping track of all of the things I need to do. And so then on the right-hand side, I'm also going to be doing a similar tracker, but for my personal goals, so things that aren't necessarily bookstagram, but are just things that I want to be doing more of and be better about actually keeping track of. For example, doing yoga and reading and doing all sorts of other things. There's also some chores on there because we all know that quarantine has made it a little bit more difficult to have some motivation. So I'm coming up with as many things as I can put on here just so that I can track what I like and hopefully see some good results in being able to track them. And I decided to put another cute little anthropomorphic pineapple on this page. It just felt right. So here's another look now that it's complete, my first June page, as well as my TBR and my schedule, and then on the next page will be both of my trackers. And I'd like to say thank you to Angie for introducing me to #angiesway. I forgot to write in a few things, but I think that it looks pretty good. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll